Hi Leo, welcome in. I hope you're doing amazing. We're going to do a random reading for you for the next 3 months, what to expect, to look forward to prepare for. And so we're going to begin and break it down into each month. We'll pull a tattoo tarot for each month and then further clarify with more tarot where need be. And then I think we're going to clear the board and do a general kind of layered spread to speak upon the 3 months as a whole. But let's do some shuffling and see what we get for us. If you're new, I'm a Leo sun. Yeah, I was randomly feeling guided to do this for you, especially given the fact that our money and career reading for June already hit 10,000 views. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm not going to take these to begin for the first of the 3 months. And keep in mind, this is meant to pertain to the next 3 months or so, beginning around when you were guided or drawn to the video, not just following when I post it. Even though it's being posted right at the beginning of June 2023, but it can apply to a different set of 3 months. Okay, very interesting. We have two Pentacle cards for the first 2 months, and we have two for the last of the three. So we're beginning with the Queen of Pentacles for the first month. I feel like this is talking about you being very focused and even having a grounded standpoint on your money. It's time to buckle down and improve on, for some, any levels of overspending. It's time for you to recognize that your hard work, or remember, your hard work is truly paying off when it comes to wherever you've been putting your resources, your efforts, right? Whether it's a business, a job, multiple situations, you name it. And I feel like something's growing for you. This isn't meant to be a money and career read, but it feels like it's a huge focus for you in the next 3 months, especially in the first of the two, the first two of which. But I feel like there's a likable energy about you for the most part in the next 3 months. Please take that in the right light. I feel as if there are times when you wake up after being messed with spiritually, or you just feel a little bit rocky emotionally, wanting to be somewhere else for some, wanting something to happen quicker, not having something of importance that you really need. And I do feel as if there are times when self-discipline and positive self-talk and just realigning your focus is going to be truly important for you, so that you can zone in on what's more productive and just seeing things change in perspective, and noticing more so the positives in your reality, and trusting in your intuition and divine timing through it all, trusting that everything's going to fall into place when it's meant to, how it's meant to. But let's further clarify the Queen of Pentacles. I feel as if as well you're being pushed to by your intuition and or spirit to, in the first month especially, to start to get back to, if you started putting less effort towards your self-care, start taking care of yourself a little bit better, so you can be feeling tip-top, so you can be producing amazing quality for whatever you're putting your efforts towards once again, so that you can be, even I want to say, thinking clearly. And so that also highlights in this month especially to be keeping your work and or home situation tidy. We need you to be thinking clearly, feeling light and fluffy at this time, in order to remain grounded. But the Page of Swords, because I feel like you're learning more about a new position you're taking on or just did recently, about how to expand your business, about how something's meant to proceed for you, how to make more money for some. I do feel as if you're learning about yourself and what you desire, or even why you desire something, or multiple changes, adjustments in your life, or for something to grow so badly. It's this process of reflecting combined with being informed by your intuition, by synchronicities, spirit in general. And it feels like a very informative time for you, where it's like, if something doesn't feel right for you moving forward, then you may just be realizing that you want to make a change, but it might be a time where you're needing to just kind of take a deep breath and make the best until the best, and recognize that you have the ability, the skill set to do this, right? The knowledge, all the meanwhile. You've dealt with so much worse. I really feel that strongly, but I feel as if your connection to the weather, to nature, to calming vibes is taking a highlight, because I feel like there's busier times lying ahead. There's certain levels of maybe chaos or just a more energetic chapter or just different in energy than what you're dealing with throughout this month and potentially rewinding back. So try to enjoy what you have. It feels like there's a situation, say it's at home, say it could be a relationship, I feel like less likely, work, where you're needing to remember that you will miss it to an extent when the time comes to switch things up. So try to be one with the moment, okay? While absolutely putting in the necessary effort in a grounded, balanced way to prepare for the acquiring, the fruition of what you truly are thinking about. Because it feels like it's such a focus throughout the month. It's like even when you try not to or choose not to think about or focus on whatever you desire or need, it's like then a YouTube video reminds you of it, or a different social media post, or somebody speaks upon it out of context. Does that make sense? And it just feels like, to an extent, the universe, spirit's reminding you of the importance of why you're feeling so drawn, or that desire, that feeling being so strong for something. But all the meanwhile, just use your discernment be strategic, okay? Trust your intuition. Do I need to move it on back, hold back from overdoing it in the consumption department? Okay, I feel like that's more than one level for some, more than one meaning. Do I need to maybe choose not to watch that video, or whatever the case may be, okay? Or excuse myself from the conversation. But a huge focus, once again, on you needing to, in this first month, stay grounded, okay? It's absolutely key for you. But I feel like something's blossoming for you, and you may even be pushed to recognize or remember how much you're blossoming through the acquiring of something, all right? I feel as if it's a month that also reminds you that hard work feels rewarding as long as you don't manage it, make your way through it, approach it in the wrong manner, right? Which I feel you at least have at certain points in the past, different versions of you, less experienced versions of you. So just make sure you're doing it in the right way, and you're going to feel really good by the end of these really, I want to say, productive days. Okay. And I also sense that the first month highlights you, shows you evidence that your motivation and potentially energy is coming to life once again. It's like you might have been feeling blah recently. You might have been feeling very weighed down, lacking that motivation once again. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I feel like that's partially because you have your eye on the prize, on a goal, on multiple, on seeing something work out for you. Okay. But I do feel like some of what you're dealing with certain stresses due to your spirituality, your dreams. All right. I was dealing with this last night. It was like, holy crap. I mean, if some people knew the dreams that I have at times, it's like, it's so confusing. Okay. Sometimes I have to literally, after waking up, remember or separate the fact that that wasn't my external reality. It wasn't real life. Anyways, and that's just a part of it. But moving on to the second month, we have the Four of Coins. All right, Four of Coins. So let's further clarify this one. There could also be, I want to say, in the first 2 of the 3 months in general, a bit of a focus on certain stresses you had to deal with in certain situations, certain chapters from the past. Could be preparation for the future. It could be a better perspective needed for you at that time in regards to what you have at hand. Or just even part of the thought process, decision process for something you're mulling over or deciding for the acquiring of. Does that make sense? But the Seven of Cups for the Four of Coins, because I feel as if there's a focus on where your control lies, but there's more a focus on your individual financial savings. Spirit saying, watch the savings take an increase and you best manage it well. You owe it to yourself, and you're going to be so happy when you don't have to feel a sense of lack moving forward, or at least not as much. Let it add up slowly but surely, or in just big increments, chunks. But it feels like all the meanwhile, a sense of control is being highlighted in regards to within the second month of you having a lot of options for where to move to a new place of residence, where to work, who to date, who to associate yourself with, wrap yourself up with friend-wise. But I feel like a lot of which are thinking about a change in your life that you're going to end up meeting new people and other aspects of your life will change. And you could even find that it leads to another big change in your life. Say you're moving, you're going to end up meeting new people, right? You're going to acquire a new job or something of the sort, or in whatever order that is for you. You could find that it's just you acquiring a new job or a new position within the same company, and then new friends come to be, and you have a lot of options there all the meanwhile. Acquaintances, right? They don't have to necessarily be friends per se, but I do feel like it's like in the first 2 months in general, you're going to see the clouds starting to clear, seeing things a bit more clearly for yourself, illumination. Expansion is on the mind. I do feel like you're thinking about how to improve your life. Simplicity feels like it's at times the name of the game. And it's going to be interesting when, especially in the second of the 3 months, you find that the simplicity at times is necessarily healing, but it doesn't feel either right or it doesn't feel like enough. You then in that moment remember why or realize that you want more. Okay, you want to be socializing or you want to be busier, you want to be somewhere else, you want different energy. It just reminds me of where I'm living and how it can be very boring at times, but it's very peaceful for the most part. Anyways, apply it to your situation. But I also feel like when you're busy at times, that's going to feel really fulfilling and productive, at least at a certain point, if not multiple. But then that could also be a moment where you're going to, interestingly, find out the opposite is something you desire. So it kind of feels like, regardless of how things are looking, feeling, what you're accomplishing, what you're moving towards throughout these months, it's like you can't help but want the opposite or something different. And it's like, we just got to kind of roll with the punches and trust our intuition and, again, recognize everything's going to come to be when it's meant to. But again, another month where something you're working on and you as a soul blossoming, to say the very least. Feisty nature from the past will take a highlight in the second month. Very interesting. Could have been yours. No judgment here, but I do feel like for a lot it's somebody else. The spiritual meaning of an owl taking a highlight. Now in the second month, somebody's going to come visit you at night, a spirit. This could be an ancestor, it could be a random spirit. I feel as if this is going to feel very off. Okay, so just recognize that when that happens, it's just a moment or just a period of time. Okay, they're not going to be there all night. They're not going to be there for, just bear with it. Okay. The Hierophant and the Four of Swords. So the number 44 coming out. This is for the third month. This is talking about how all the meanwhile you make your way to this third month out of all three, and change is on the mind. Once again, change is a huge highlight. You're gonna feel that from the beginning of this 3 month period to the end, you even find yourself looking at things differently. You now find yourself potentially changed a bit, okay, for whatever reason. It's like your mood might have drastically changed in certain ways or one specific way by the time you get ready to wrap up this 3 month period. You might also find that your wants and needs or even how you're meant to approach something is absolutely adjusted, okay? And so therefore recognize how productive and important the ups and downs and twists and turns of this 3 month period are for you, because I really feel like it's time for you to recognize that things aren't meant to stay the same moving forward, at least not for the most part, okay? If there's a situation that is absolutely perfect for you, at least for the most part, if it has that stability and guaranteed success for you and you don't want to change it, then you don't have to, okay? As long as that's within your control moving forward. But Spirit's saying this is a time period in this third month, especially where you are zoned in on the fact that things have been changing over time and they're changing even more so moving forward. And there's a need to flow with that. Initiate change when you intuitively feel it. And apply your strategic ability to flow with and adapt to change that's more so out of your control, right? At times those being paired together. Anyways, let's further clarify this one. I know I go on a lot of rants in these readings, bear with me. The Nine of Pentacles, feeling ultra independent. Now we have the number 99 because I still have the Nine of Swords at the bottom. But I do feel like when it comes to whatever change you're looking to make, whatever change you're experiencing or will be soon enough, protection for you, my friend. Also, a sense of you, even though you are feeling very motivated for the most part, feeling maybe a little bit restless, at times a bit bored once again, that kind of carrying through into this third month. You do need to, with the Four of Swords, rest, because I do feel like although you are creating busy times for yourself throughout this third month, although things aren't as slow as they once were, or at certain points, you are going to be even busier moving forward, I want to say, inevitably. And so you need to recognize, and then potentially a change in a situation is going to have faster paced energy or just different energy that's not as peaceful. So there's a need to relax when need be, when your body is communicating that to you, when your intuition is screaming at you that you are going to thank yourself moving forward. But your independence is taking a tremendous highlight in this third month, where you're standing proud of all that you've accomplished and all that you've changed or have adapted to in these last 3 months. But it also feels like there's naturally, as a Leo, an immense amount of pride in this third month in regards to all that you've overcome and accomplished and seen prosper for you along your individual path as a whole up until this point. Beautiful. And so I feel like there's a vibe of not only you kind of patting yourself on the back, giving yourself a bit of a round of applause to an extent. Obviously, that doesn't have to be literally. Spirits kind of doing that around you, or in, to an extent in the spiritual realm. And I feel like you're going to be seeing, I want to say the entire 3-month period, especially the third month, a lot of synchronicities and communication from spirit. I feel as if a lot of which are being prepared in this third month, and potentially the other 2 months to an extent, but more so the third, for a spiritual increase and potentially an intuitive increase, heightening moving forward. And that can feel a bit overwhelming, right? Even though it may come in handy, may add certain complications, probably will. I do feel as if all the meanwhile, it's meant to be, it's destined, and it's going to change your life in certain ways that I feel you've been asking for. It's these 3 months where you're being pushed to, we'll take this for the middle of the layered spread. Things are falling into place for you. There's a delicacy about your energy at certain points that's needed for whatever you're accomplishing, for who and what you're attracting in, at times to heal, not to overdo it again, to be able to accomplish in a strategic manner, to be busy in a strategic manner. But let's continue and pull from the Mermaid deck. Interesting choice. They also want me to split the deck here. From the Good Tarot, transformation, absolutely beautiful. You are transforming, my friend, and that's absolutely evidenced. I want to say to other people, to spirit in the next 3 months, but to you, okay? I feel as if you're gaining attention in the next 3 months, and it's like, it's just the beginning, right? I feel as if being drawn to this reading, at least to an extent, spotlight attention, victory lies in your future. All right, so I feel like especially, I want to say in the beginning parts of this 3-month period, there's heaviness. Again, there's a focus on heavier times from the past, busier times from the past, or a little bit of a combination of both. But the King of Swords, because I feel like what you've been through has prepared you for what you're dealing with and what lies ahead, for change. I do feel like at times you might find your energy is coming off a bit stern, a bit cold, but it's like you're just so focused or in the moment, or you're trying not to over exude, or you don't have a ton to give in that moment, or something you just did burnt you out a little bit. Does that make sense? Reminds me after I do a reading for somebody or for this channel, it's like I have literally never felt so depleted. I have to cleanse my energy and do a little bit of healing. Whatever ends up being for you, apply it as you may. But I feel for the most part, there's a lack of emotional detachment in the next 3 months. Apply that to whatever situation or multiple it is for you. I do feel as if there's a lack of emotional weighing down when it comes to what you wish to manifest. And so this is going to benefit you greatly. There is a sense of there being less chaos than what you once dealt with. All right. I do feel like you're going to need to put your knowledge and wisdom to use to make sure that in the upcoming months, or just fast forwarding a bit and after that point, obviously differing from case to case when that starts, you're gonna have to put your knowledge and wisdom from a past experience or even from what you're dealing with now to make sure that things don't feel confusing. All right. I'm hearing misminded. I don't even think that's a word, but kind of lost in perspective. Make sure you don't lose yourself within whatever change or situation that is for you when you succeed more, to make sure that you minimize or handle certain levels of stress to the best of your ability. I know that sounds a bit negative, but those are coming out for a reason. We're going to take them. But look, there are certain levels of abundance in the next 3 months that are, again, highlighting the fact that things are falling into place for you. Doing a lot of speaking, I want to say, but there is a highlight on certain levels of abundance and even prosperity at times, that, moving to that state when you are feeling trapped at your job or where you're living or with a specific connection, even if you do care for them, right? Regardless, that could be a very tricky situation. But look at this, being noticed, all right? I feel like people are very interested in you in the next 3 months, very perplexed though, all the meanwhile. Those closest to you might be feeling very left in the dark in regards to what you're going through, what you're managing, handling, what you're desiring, going to change, what your future looks like. And it's this feeling that I'm personally figuring it out, so I don't feel the need to, and there's obviously, I feel like, other reasons why I'm not going to share this with you, okay? So I feel a very Seven of Swords vibe, being quite to yourself in a lot of ways in the next 3 months, and just kind of staying in your bubble. Doesn't mean you won't socialize or, be out and about in the spotlight once again, but it just feels like there's just a huge focus for you on what you want to achieve, what you want to see come to be, and how you're meant to succeed. And it's like, I don't also feel it's intuitively correct to welcome in those judgments, opinions about what lies ahead. And so I do feel like you're going to benefit from that all the meanwhile. Keeping your mind clear, right? Allowing for yourself to move towards and away from what just simply intuitively feels right for you, okay? But the Ace of Cups, because I do feel like this is a time where you're seeing a sense of control when it comes to an overflowing cup. But I do feel like a new beginning for you on the horizon, whatever that looks like for you, will bring you with other levels, bring in other levels of abundance and prosperity, and it's going to feel amazing. But again, a huge, huge highlight, a center focus on the fact that as things change and grow in the next 3 months, there's way more of that lying ahead for you, and it's going to feel good as long as you adapt and go with the flow, and trust your intuition and apply your knowledge and experience all the meanwhile, and listen to spirit selectively. Things are falling into place. You should be so damn proud, all right? As I get a little bit emotional, I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the next 3 months, and I'll definitely see you next time.